Happy New Year, everybody. Last year I made a resolution to run every day for an entire year, and this post is about that and everything I've learned. If you don't want to hear about that, you can just skip to the next post. Anyway, so what I learned running every day for a year. So technically I ran 363 days, not 365, because I missed 2 days. I believe both days were in December, holidays, work, life. I told myself I would run, sat 2 minutes on the couch and just passed out. It happens. I almost hit the goal. I think the bigger message is that you have a big goal to start with. If I had said, hey, I'll run once a week, I probably would have just, did nothing the 6 days a week and then maybe skip the 7th day and whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you tell yourself I'm going to run every single day, you kind of hold yourself accountable for that. I suggest that if you're thinking about starting a goal for this year. So think big is what I'm saying. Don't think small. I kind of wrote a list down of everything I learned, so I'm going to be referencing that. So a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm not the type of person that necessarily needs to lose weight, kind of like genetically skinny. But I will say this, when I started running, I actually gained weight for a couple reasons. One, I think it's running distance and not running sprints. Or not running explosive workouts, more marathon style workouts. And, when you run a marathon style, you kind of build up stress inside your body. And the fact that I was also running every single day, even days that I didn't want to do it, I think that compounds stress. And when you have stress, it may not be mental stress, it's just physical stress. Your body's going to react and keep some of that weight. I'm not saying I'm fat, because I'm not. I'm just, I used to weigh 180, 185. Now I weigh 190. I've never weighed 190 in my life. Some of that is muscle, so you will gain some muscle. I will tell you what will help with weight loss is diet, 100% diet. Part of the problem with running every day, though, is your body craves just protein. Your body craves carbs, the things that'll give you that boost of energy. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want to run and lose weight, or whatever you want to do, but that won't exactly always give you the results you want. It always, I think 100%, regardless of working out at all, it's really diet number one, and then whatever diet you choose, that's up to you. But anyway, what it does help and why I continued to do it for the whole year is mental focus. I remember before I started, I was just feeling space heady. I wasn't feeling energized every day. I would wake up feeling like shit, basically. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that way and think there's nothing you can do except drink coffee to feel better, or whatever you do to feel better. But I will tell you this, once you run or have some sort of workout schedule, even if it's not every day, your mental focus shifts and blood and oxygen is moving to your brain. And after the course of like a month, you see the difference and just want to keep doing it because you're there for people, you're mentally focused, you're aware. It helps you with your work. It helps you with your social life. It helps you with everything. So I would recommend that. Some of those tips that I learned when I was working with Charlie. I did a lot of content with him, doing Nike content. And you should check him out at Charlie. And, learning about explosive energy, I learned that from this guy, Wesley Knight, who used to be a professional soccer player. And I asked him, like, yo, what's up with soccer players? How do you run that long? He's like, it's not about running long. It's about performing really, really intense for short bursts to get the goal. And that kind of like clicked something to me. I was like, oh, I see what you're saying. I haven't done that this year. Maybe I'll try that this year, but mine was more about running. Anyway, I started with long distances and I realized that it wasn't really helping me, it was hurting me. So I started doing shorter distances and I noticed that I was getting all the mental benefits without any of the stress that I was getting earlier in the year from doing long distances. I'm not saying long distances are bad, marathon runners, I tip my hat to you, but I don't think that long distance is necessarily beneficial for your running goals, if that makes sense. A half mile to a mile is all you need every day. Do a half mile to a mile. If you do a 10-minute pace, which is pretty relaxed, that's 5 minutes a day of running if you did a half mile. And from my experience, a half mile is the breaking point where I start breaking a sweat and feeling a heart rate go up. And that's all you really need to get that mental benefit. So half mile a day, 5 minutes a day. That's literally it. 5 minutes and then 5 minutes of just walking and cooling down. That's it. 10 minutes if you do a 10-minute mile. Some days you feel good and you want to run 4 miles. Like today, I'm probably going to run probably 3 miles, 4 miles, because I feel good. And I'm out here looking at this view. It's inspiring, so I'm gonna run more. But I don't think you need to run long lengths every day, and I actually think it might actually hurt you. I was getting injured in the beginning of the year because I was running so much every day. It's not good. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Which brings me to running style. Now, this is something I learned from Coach Blue. He's a Nike coach. He's one of the national Nike coaches. He's also on the Nike Run app. I had a chance to run into him at Vice News in Venice, and I asked him, yo, I need a tip. How should I run? And he said, how do you run right now? And I showed him. He's all kind of running on your heels. And I said, okay. And I said, okay, how should I fix that? He's all, well, how would you run without shoes on? And I said, ball on my foot. He's all, that's how you need to run with shoes. And I said, well, wait a second. The shoes have thick padding in the heels. Shouldn't I be using that? No, you should not be using that. You should be running as if you had no shoes whatsoever. And when he said that, I had to shift my whole running style, and I was running like 6 miles a day, injuring myself. And then I switched to running ball on my foot, and I couldn't even run a half mile. Couldn't even run around the block because I had no muscle where that style of running was that it required. Anyway, I switched, and I owe Coach Blue everything. Pain stopped, injury stopped. Sure, it took like 3 months to build the muscle to really do like a proper run, but damn, like that changed everything. The pain stopped, everything stopped. Another thing is shoes. And I think that running with the correct shoes is, I cannot stress this enough. First off, you're gonna love running if you have great running shoes. And if you love running in your shoes, you're gonna wanna run more. So I recommend that. I've tried Boost by Adidas versus React, which is Nike. I have to say the Nike is hands down way better than the Boost as far as running. Sure, Boost is cool for chilling, but Nike's better for running. The React, I'll take the shoe off so you can see it. This React foam, why do they call it React? It's the foam. That's the React. This specific foam, you have to seek it out. It costs a lot more, but I'm telling you, it is everything when you're running. And then there's, they got options like Air. Don't run in Air. Don't run Nike Air. It's good for chilling, but it's the hardest cushion. You want to run foam. You don't want to run just any foam. You want to run React foam. Very important. I ran the Vapor Max for like the first 3 months, 4 months, and it's just a harder cushion. You think that you're running on air, but you're not. You're running on hard. It's not foam. It's not soft. The React foam is soft. There's no pain. You can run a marathon in it. It is the best running shoe on planet Earth, in my opinion. It also has Flyknit, which means that when you try it on, it's going to be a tight fit around the top part of your foot. And you're going to be like, oh, I don't like that because I want a loose fit. I'm used to chilling in my slip-on Vans or whatever. They're loose. No, you have to get tight fitting shoes. And this is the reason why. A, it's Flyknit material, so it's going to stretch and conform to your foot. Sure, it might feel a little snug, but you want it to feel snug because when it's snug, your shoe doesn't flop around and it feels like a part of you as opposed to this accessory that's hanging on the bottom of your foot. You want it to be tight. I cannot stress this enough. Also, do not use thin socks. A lot of people like to use like those no-show socks from H&M or Gap or whatever, and they're really thin. Don't use those. Use athletic socks that are thicker. That thickness is going to glue the shoe to your foot, and you're gonna feel a million times better when you're running. Just trust me on this. Just get the correct size. And also, unless you're a growing kid, buy a shoe that actually fits from heel to toe. You're not a kid anymore. Buy a shoe that fits. Don't buy a shoe that has a little bit of extra room in the toe because you're not using the shoe as what it's designed for. They have toe cushioning and midsole cushioning and like ball of your foot, heel of your foot. You're not maximizing the benefit of the shoe if you're getting a shoe that's too long. So don't be a kid anymore. Buy a shoe that fits. Running ball of foot versus heel, you want to run the React because the balls of your feet are going to be like clouds. It's amazing. Anyway, some accessories that I've used. I don't recommend that you run with an armband with the phone, strictly because two things. You're going to spend a lot of time in the sun. You're going to get a tan line there. Two, it puts awkward weight on one side of your body, and then the other side doesn't have equal weight. So you feel kind of weird about that. I feel off when I do that. What I like to use, I bought this thing. It is a really slim belt pack, and that way the weight of my phone is in the center of my body. Another thing you can use is a watch, but again, I don't like running with watches because I feel like one wrist is heavier than the other. I know it's just a couple grams, but psychologically, like, I just feel like I need something on both sides to feel even. Headphones, run with headphones. I prefer the ones that go around the ear. Actually, really just want something that has like a little bud so that it doesn't fall out, like a little silicone bud so it doesn't fall out. And let's see what else. I use the Nike Run app. I'm sure there's other apps too, but I think that one's the best. To kind of cap it off, you want to buy good gear if you're really serious about this. You want to buy good shoes. I know they cost a lot of money. The React is like $150. I'm sure you could find it on sale for $80 at an outlet. But get the top-notch stuff on sale if you need to. Get the top-notch stuff because you're gonna feel better using it because it's more comfortable. And when you're more comfortable, you want to keep running and you want to keep working out. So that whole mindset, it's just gonna make you want to do it. If you're not comfortable, you're not gonna want to do it. So might as well be comfortable. Going back to setting, big goals. I know this is something that I kind of learned working with Charlie. If I had said I was going to run 2-3 days a week, I would have never done it. But because I said I'm going to run every day, I had no excuse. Go out with friends partying. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't matter, still gotta run, because I said if I don't run that day, it's gonna mess my whole goal up, and I'm not about to mess it up. I highly recommend setting big, lofty goals. So for this year, I think what I'm gonna do, I think I might want to try maybe some sprints. Not 100% sold on that, because sprints I feel are more for someone who's really intense about sports, wanting to lose weight. I don't necessarily need to lose weight. What I like about running is just the mental boost. So I think I'm gonna stick to another year of just running, and I think I'm just gonna do short runs. 1 mile to 3 miles, or excuse me, half mile to 3 miles, depending on the day. Usually every day will be half mile to a mile. And that's fine with me. That works for me. That was my experience of running 363 days in a year and what I've learned, and hopefully that information inspires you to do something with it. All right, Happy New Year.